Today is me with VJ.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome to Table Talk. We don't really have Sandy today. There's has been a little mess because of Shop Hop. She's very busy. And then I gave her a last minute notice that she's coming this morning. I mean, like we talked about it on Monday, and then I didn't remind her, so it's on me. Sorry, everybody. You have to tolerate me today. The last time.
This is a sad day for me though, because Emerald is just so amazing, and it is her last day working here, and we've just loved her. She's just the sweetest gal.
Thank you.
And she will be sorely missed. She's very talented and hardworking and just a delight.
Thank you so much. I remember the first day I came in, you and Michelle helped to train me a little.
Oh.
I mean, a lot.
Yes.
They helped me to get to know the store, and then they were really nice, so I was not intimidated.
So,
I mean, yeah.
So I used to teach, so she's so young. She's very teachable too. So
it's a little relatable to your past, I guess.
It is. I don't know why. I'm just kind of attracted to younger people.
Oh.
Even when customers come in that are younger, I try to mother them along, just like I did my students.
Oh, so your grandkids, right?
Yes.
So you probably feel a lot relatable too.
Yeah, I like them better really as teenagers, to be honest with you.
Really?
I know that's crazy, but that's because I taught junior high for years, and then I taught college. And so I really I just love that age.
Oh, wow.
So,
you're different from a lot of people.
I know, I'm mentally ill too, so I don't know. We'll wait and see.
I guess that's why you quilt all the, no. They put you into the zone that you have to zen yourself a little.
That's true. You can tune out a lot that's going on around you.
Thank you, VJ. So VJ will talk to us about how to work with white fabric today later. Before that, we want to show a little bit of what we have in store lately, and then I will start with giving you the time to talk about this quilt because it's so amazing.
Well, this is the project I'm just ready to give to the quilter today, and I'm really happy with this quilt. I love traditional quilts, and we have a line of fabric in that's Sense Sensibility, and so it's, I always think about Jane Austen, and I have to say I was kind of curious the other day, when did Jane Austen live? And she was born in the late 1700s, so this definitely has a feel of very, very traditional, and when I saw the fabric, I was trying to think of, okay, what pattern can we possibly use? And we have this book, which really, we've sold so many of these, and I've made several quilts out of this book. And I just thought, okay, so I was just looking through it. And this was my inspiration.
Oh, yeah, I can see the border.
And they used a variety of reds for the sashing, and I'm just using the very same fabric for sashing, border, and binding on it.
That's why it gives a little that variegated look.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
It is pretty.
So I thought this was just nice, and the previous quilt that I did had lots of triangles, so I was ready to work with just squares for a bit too.
Lately, we're seeing a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I did do this, and like I said, I'm really happy with it. I'm making it a little bigger than the book pattern. I made it, I believe it was 1 block wider and 2 blocks longer.
Okay.
So it has 99 blocks in it instead of, I believe it was 72 or something.
Oh.
So there's a little bit more work involved in it. If you buy the kit, of course, when it's available, you don't have to make it bigger if you don't want to, so it's absolutely your choice, but I will have the instructions in the pattern so that you can make it bigger. So it ends up being, I believe it's 64 by 78. So it's just a nice, to me, a little bit nicer size.
It is. Let's open this a little because I like that you put different blocks.
It's interesting how this one was made because you actually make up 4 patches. Okay, you make up 4 patches, but then you have, out of your strip piecing, you have an extra 2 blocks at the end, so then you can take and make up these blocks right here that have a variety of fabrics in them.
Oh, so you arrange them. Okay,
Yes.
I see.
So you make them a little bit different there.
So you can have these kind or these kind of blocks
Yes.
together. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's really. It's
So, like I said, I'm real pleased with it. So, anyway, another project. I'm working on the next now. So,
Oh, Shire, wow. It looks very time consuming, and then somehow you just give us all the turnout really fast.
oh,
We just saw that Georgine quilt, and then now we have this. I'm like, how do you do this?
oh, that's because my whole life is. Okay, what project next for this out?
So yeah, look
Right.
out for all the other ones coming later from VJ. We were just talking about her new idea, and I
Yes.
like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, those are pretty ones. Let's show this quilt
Okay.
that's finished by
This one,
Kathy.
Kathy made this one. And this one is, oh my, what is the line of this fabric? I don't remember.
I think it's called Gingham Field,
Oh, that's right.
right?
We've had several in that have been called gingham, something or another.
And it's just, I am a green person. I really liked it,
Mhm.
and you can see the darker part.
So it
I
goes
think
from
that's-
it goes from light to dark
Yeah.
down at the bottom.
Yeah, so like at the bottom you can see the darker part. Sorry, I'm not manipulating the camera today, so it might take a little time for us to show you the whole quilt. But yeah, I like this. And
It's very nice. This line has just been lovely, and we've done quite a few things out of it.
we did.
Yeah, but I think people really are enjoying this line tremendously.
Yeah.
So
Even that you can work with the quilt that Wendy did. I
Mhm.
forgot. Tossed hearts.
the tossed hearts, very similar in color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like green, and then if you're just starting quilting, I think this is a great starter.
Oh, this is one of those that,
Like for me.
even a teenager or a preteen, if they're just learning to sew, this would be a really excellent project for them to start on.
Yeah. I admire your quilt, but I'm like, I probably could not do that
Oh,
because all my square wobbles.
as I don't know. I think you can probably do anything if you set your mind to it. But I always used to tell my students, who were mostly girls, would say, "You are women. You can do anything you choose." So that was kind of my motto for them.
That's
So,
really great influence.
But anyway, you have to empower these young women.
Yes.
So
The right age
Yes.
and right time. Let's show a little bit of new, probably not really new, but like summary cross stitch patterns.
oh, I love this one. I have this one that I would really like to do.
You
but
do?
I do.
I look at it and I'm just like, wow. I don't know how long it takes people to finish it. But
For
yeah,
me,
it
a
looks
long
like
time.
Yeah, because you are mostly do quilting as well, and then and then you probably want to have a nice look of it. And this is called Hive Rules, and you can finish this with our longer frame. Just make it vertical or like them using a long board. I like it because it's just very springy. And then this lemonade. Somehow lemonade always give me like a travel vacation feel to it. So this is fresh lemonade. They finish it as a pillow, but you're basically like working on this top square. So it's not huge work. It's not like it's probably not going to take
just a
a
fun
long
little
time.
project.
Yeah, for your summer bowl filler. All these are bowl filler. This one, Robin introduced me to this yesterday because she was like, store shopping, and I think it's pretty cool. It's strawberry.
Oh, it is. That's very sweet.
Yeah, and then like they have different designs on the strawberry, little squares on it.
Yeah, that's a really nice pattern.
Yeah,
Very.
and then
very
you can, obviously, you can use those variegated thread to make it a different look.
Right. I love the variegated threads. It just gives it such a nice feel to me.
Yeah.
So,
And then, it just has those feel that you show us that quilt in the picture. Sorry, I'm lost of words.
No, it's good though.
So these are some new cross stitch patterns. Let's.
We have some new fabrics, and we've started getting Halloween fabrics.
Yes.
And these are so cute.
They are cute.
So this line is from Riley Blake. It's called Spooky Schoolhouse, and it's by Melissa Mortenson.
Okay.
And so she always does some really fun Halloween things.
Oh, I do not know. I mean, I probably don't remember the designer's name.
Right. Yeah, you get to a point after you've been quilting for a while, you could walk into a shop and you don't even have to look at the top of the bolt, and you know exactly.
You can tell
who
the designer is.
Yes.
I can tell a couple, like Minky Kim, I could tell.
Oh, right.
But yeah, but I look at this, that reminds me of that, those Bears little Goldie designer somehow. Like the color is very similar to her last year's Halloween.
Oh, yes.
So I was a little confused when I see the quilt is from Riley Blake, not from that designer. And I'm like, oh, it's a. I guess people are adding more and more fun to the Halloween design.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Want me to hold those?
sure. And then the last one is this cute little orange ghost. So not scary or spooky Halloween, just some cute Halloween.
And we've been having this, we haven't found a place for this, a home within the shop yet, so it's just been sitting back behind the cut table. And it's interesting how people just kind of migrate around. And so people are already starting to buy the Halloween fabric, so it's really interesting how, and people come in and they always talk about how much they love decorating for fall and decorating for Halloween, and they're wondering why they buy more Halloween fabric because, but they love it. So.
Oh, it's so nice. Are you a Halloween? I feel like you're more like an autumn fall.
I am. I'm not a Halloween. I'm not a dress up sort of gal. I'm kind of boring actually.
Have you ever been a dress up girl though?
No, even as a kid, I did not like dressing up.
You have an old soul.
I do. I'm sure it has something to do with my childhood. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, so coming and you can shop around. These will be here during Shop Hop, and then BJ and all the other girls will be crazy cutting fabrics.
Right.
So yeah.
Yes, they will be flying out the door for sure. So
yeah, it's just really cute. I think we're kitting up a quilt with all their fat quarter bundles.
Oh, okay,
so yeah,
cool.
Look out for that. Move this down. So we have some small quilt and table runner to finish by Anna. They're mostly just panel, and I think this is probably this side.
Oh, okay.
It's like a is it? It's an American.
Oh, yeah, we need to flip that around too.
Yeah, we don't want to be wrong on that.
Correct. Okay, so this is just a little panel quilt.
Yeah, I think it's really cool because, like, I'm so always obsessed with having like a map at home, and then you can just pin wherever you've been to.
Oh, right. Yeah. I love maps too. So.
Although I don't get to travel a lot, so I don't get to pin a lot, but it's always good to see.
Anyway, so that is one we've got available right now.
Yes.
So.
We have this available.
And you could probably do some things with this panel to make it larger if you wanted to as well.
Yeah,
so.
You can probably add more than these 2 rows. Another one is the spring panel table runner. Yeah, okay.
This is the right side. Sandy Gervais fabric.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty long as a table runner. Though.
It is. You've got to have a pretty good sized table, otherwise it can be hanging off the ends, of course. Too, so
yeah, I just like this collection. Very end of it. And I want to show a little bit before we give this quilt to another shop because it's touring. in Utah. So last week, 2 weeks ago, we showed her book.
Oh yes, the fruit cocktail with the fruit cocktail fabric.
Okay, so have you seen the book? Which one of the quilt, which fruit of the quilt would you make?
I really love, I like the blueberry one and I like the pear one, I think, are my favorites.
Oh.
But
Is it because of the color for pears?
probably.
Yeah. A very mild yellow.
But these are Joanna Figueroa's quilts. She sent them here, so it's just a little trunk show that we have several of her quilts here in the shop.
And then I want to show this cherry quilt because Shannon mentioned she will do the cherry quilt, but we didn't show the quilt. Now here's the quilt.
Yes.
Very quick, very cute.
It is.
I also love the dance.
And we do have that line of fabric in, so and the book as well. So, and it's got, everything is just fruity in the whole thing, so it's really fun.
Now I just like imagine when we talk about all these things, people are like taking notes about what they're going to buy during Shop Hop.
I know.
I mean, I hope.
Yes, I'm sure.
They're like, I need a list of this. So yeah, I think these are all the new things we show today.
Okay.
So today I asked VJ because I was browsing and then there are people talking about like how do you work with your white fabric, and as I was a sewing student in college, the teachers will always say like use certain tools, don't use those ink pen because sometimes they don't disappear.
Oh, that's true. That the blue is notorious, or even the purple that says it's supposed to vanish does not always disappear.
Yeah.
So
even when they have those, like we have those pen that are two tips, and one side is the marker, the other side is supposed to like help you to vanish or remove that mark. So I've had some traumatized experience. So then I asked VJ to share some tips of what she does when she works with, because you work with a lot of white fabric.
Oh, I do. Yes. So I was going to type this up in my license for my Word ran out, so I didn't get it typed up, but I've written out some things. So I think the very first thing you need to realize is all whites there's different colors of white. And people don't realize that sometimes. Some whites tend to be more blue, some tend to be a little bit more yellow.
Yes.
And so when you are actually choosing a white fabric for your quilt, you need to make sure to have your fabric together. And I don't mean to hurt anybody's feelings, but having a picture on your phone does not cut it. So I know so many times, and I feel really bad because people will come into the store and they'll say, "Can you match this?" And they have the picture on their phone, and it's like, no, it's just too hard. So, and I know it's a little bit more inconvenient, but you've got to get a little bag ready when you go out shopping for white fabric or whatever you're trying. It really helps so much. But I know we have Cloud here in the shop, but it has more of a yellowish tint. And then Riley White tends to be a little bit more white. So you need to keep that one in mind. Whenever you're using white fabrics, I think it's important. First of all, you need to wash your hands. Make sure your hands are really clean. You need to make sure that even dust your sewing machine, make sure it's clean. Your ironing board cover. Yeah. I know sometimes ironing board covers can get pretty nasty, but change out that cover periodically, because if you're going to be using or pressing white, you need to make sure the bottom of your iron is clean, and you need to make sure that ironing board cover doesn't have something on that's going to be transferred onto your fabric.
Yes.
So I think that's a good tip.
Can I jump in a little? Yeah, because I am really bad at protecting my iron, and sometimes I burn my iron, and then it does affect how you iron, and then sometimes it leaves marks. And then especially when you're using lighter colors, it's showing.
Right.
So yeah.
Right.
So yeah, protecting your.
It's really important. I have to tell you, another thing to do is keep food away and I know lots of us like to take a little snack by the sewing machine or crackers or whatever you want to, but be really careful. I just have a little story that happened to me a few weeks ago. I'm a Diet Pepsi drinker, okay? I drink probably an average of 3 cans a day. That's my average.
And that's what her diet is based on.
That is.
She doesn't eat.
Well, a little bit. But I accidentally spilled some Diet Pepsi on this quilt that was in progress.
Oh.
And I had no clue. I never had spilled Pepsi on anything before that I was working on. And so I just thought, okay, I can just rinse this out. Well, no, you can't just rinse it out. So I had to replace some of the blocks in my quilt, and it was very time consuming because I had to redo quite a bit. And so just be really careful about the food next to your quilts, and because it's not like you can throw an unfinished quilt into the washing machine and try to wash that.
Yeah.
So it does not work with all the raveling and everything. Another thing I think that's important is I always use Best Press, and I spray it with a mister, because sometimes if you just use the spray on the Best Press, sometimes it can just leave spots all over your fabric. And so a mister is a better idea. And one thing that it really helps with the raveling, and then I think it also helps with when you're working with triangles, your fabric doesn't stretch as much. It just stabilizes your fabric more too. So I'm a real advocate in using Best Press.
Do you also like have a certain distance so you don't have a huge spot when you spray it, or like do you care about those?
No, I don't think. Usually if I'm ironing a whole big piece or pressing a whole big piece, I just spray that whole thing. I don't saturate it. It's not like I can wring Best Press out of it, but I do spray it. So let's see what else. Okay. Another thing. Make sure your thread color. Use white thread on white when you're using a lot of white. You don't want to be using, and I just brought this khaki thread over. You don't want to be using a khaki thread on white because it can show through. So make sure you're using a white, or nothing darker than a very light cream on a white fabric. Okay, so I think that's really an important thing.
Especially those art gallery fabric, when they're so sheer, you can definitely see that through.
Oh, that's a great tip. I hadn't thought about that. But yes, that's really good. Remember that whites can be different dye lots. You think, okay, a white is a white is a white, but you can get 2 exact fabrics that you think are exact, and they're going to be different dye lots, and as a result you're going to be able to tell that on your quilt. So be really careful and make sure you get enough fabric for the quilt off the same mold. Another thing is make sure you press, if you can, to the darker side, pressing it to the darker side. Otherwise, that dark fabric can show through on your white fabric. Another thing, and this is something I really hadn't thought about until, I do this all the time when I give a quilt. Okay, so I've got 2 different battings here. So I've got the cream and I've got the white. When you're doing a white quilt, you want to make sure to use white batting.
Yes.
Reason why is if you use cream, and we can
hold it,
it is going to really dull your white.
Oh yeah, and then it has a yellow. Let me show it.
Yeah.
So it does have a yellow tint behind it, and then it'll probably make it look, I guess, older, dirtier somehow.
Yeah, a little bit more dingy.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. So it's just mention to your quilter you want white batting, and many times the quilter will ask you, oh, do you want white? Yes, I do.
When they see your piece. Yeah.
Absolutely.
This is a white one. So yeah.
Okay, let me think. I've got a couple more tips here.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's important. You want to trim your threads. Okay, trim your threads. And I think it's important to, if you have, if you're putting this together with some dark fabrics, you want to make sure to trim those dark threads off of your dark fabric, because otherwise it will show through. Yeah, one thing you can do, and I did this once, and it really worked well, is you can take a really, really fine crochet hook in through your fabric to pull that thread out.
Oh.
But you have to be really careful so you're not going to
unstitch it or like
right, or make a hole in your fabric. So that's another thing you can do. Make sure, if I still remember one of the quilts, one of my first quilts that I ever made had a lot of red and white on it. And I remember when I took it to the quilter, and when I picked it up, she said, "Oh, your red is already starting to bleed onto your white."
When she was working on it?
Yes, she said.
Oh, I did not know.
So you need to be careful. Some red fabrics are terrible. And I mean, that red fabric was something I'd purchased at a quilt shop, and this was years and years ago. But I'm kind of nervous. I've only used that quilt as a wall hanging, and I'm kind of nervous to ever even wash that, because I think, is it going to ruin my quilt?
Yeah.
But one thing I did read, that if it does bleed onto your white, don't put it in the dryer to try to dry it. You want to take, and they suggested using Dawn liquid dishwashing detergent, and that will help you to get some of that stain out. So you need to soak it with Dawn detergent.
Oh, okay.
So
that's what I heard. Yeah, okay. I think I saw that video too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so one other thing I just had thought about is, you don't always have to use plain white. You can use a white on white design, and sometimes that can really add some nice texture. So this is just a bigger white dot, and I'm not sure if you can see that at all. This is an interesting piece because if you can see it next to it, it looks so blue.
Yes.
But it's just a little Swiss dot. And then this one has just got, like for Christmas, if you want some white for a Christmas quilt, then this one has snowflakes on it. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see this at all. But you don't always have to use just a plain white fabric. But you would still want to follow all these same tips just to have better success.
Yes.
So those are the things that I pulled together. So
thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
I have some extra question personally. Just if you ever have to mark your piece of white, what would you do with it?
Yeah, I should have brought my pencil. We have those pencils that are really, want me to go grab it?
Is that pink one?
Yes. Okay. I do use a pencil on my fabric, and it does wash out, and it doesn't go through your fabric.
Is it this one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I use all the time when I'm marking my fabric, because then it's not going to stain anything.
Yeah.
And it does wash out, but it doesn't soak through or anything. So that's what I use. So, thank you. And it does come in different colors of lead. You can get yellow or pink, or just a regular grayish, blackish lead color.
So I guess pencil is like great because they're more like a powdery thing. They're not like ink.
Well, this is different. I can't remember what this is from. This is a special product, and I can't remember what it's called. But this really does work. This is not just like a regular lead. Mm-hmm. So it is different. And anyway, but that is what I always use.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that will be all for our table talk today. Okay. Keep an eye on the information for our stitch night. I think we're still holding it on the second week, which in May, it will probably be really busy during Shop Hop. down.
Right.
Yeah. If you want to come in still at 6, you can come and shop a little bit, but there will be probably a lot of other shop hoppers. We'll start setting the table around 7, so keep an eye on that information. We'll let you know what's really going on later when it comes close. Yeah.
Okay.
So thank you, VJ.
Thank you
for being.
I have to just give you a little hug.
Thank you.
And
My first teacher.
but do have a good week and enjoy your sewing.